Dave,
Hi.
brother, thank you for being here today. Really appreciate it. The whole point of these chats is just to have short, informal, casual conversations with others, with the hopes that whoever's watching this might learn something that's new.
Sure. Yeah, glad to
Um,
be here.
awesome, brother. Just maybe we could start quickly by you kind of maybe mentioning to audience how you and I know each other.
Yeah, so I just met you through a friend, whom you met in a wedding.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, that's how we met. A random connection.
yeah. It's crazy. I feel like when you kind of like open yourself up to like meeting people, like you come across such incredible people who have incredible experiences. So just to start, you work in a very big company.
Yeah, I'm working in Amazon since 4.5 years.
Okay.
I joined in COVID as a
Mhm.
software developer,
Uh,
and I've been working in multiple teams in Amazon since then.
are you able to talk a little bit about how life working at Amazon is and what your day-to-day job looks like, etc.?
Yeah. So in Amazon, I think the main advantage is that you get a lot of ownership. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like the whole project you own end to end. So
Mm-hmm.
I think you get an opportunity to deliver something end to end, starting from the design, then implementation, then testing, then deployment. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the greatest thing I think. Apart from that, there are a lot of fun things also we do. We frequently go to play foosballs, we go to team outings.
Mm-hmm.
So foosball is one of the daily rituals we have.
Mm-hmm.
Every evening we go after work. There are random coffee breaks.
Where's the foosball?
There's a recreation area where
Mm-hmm.
we have that foosball table.
Pretty sick, man.
Yeah,
And what about like in terms of the office? How's that? You're based in Bangalore.
yeah.
What's the Amazon office like in Bangalore?
It's pretty chill actually. So there are breakout areas where you can
Mm-hmm.
go relax. There are coffee areas where you can go drink coffee. Then so in Bangalore there are two buildings adjacent, and there's a ramp connecting them. So there you can grow, you can go, you can feel the breeze. So that's very quiet and
Oh,
peaceful. Yeah. We have a cafeteria. There's a massage chair.
really?
So 2 days back, I was feeling some pain in the back, so I just went on the massage chair, had a half an hour massage session. So that was good. There's a PlayStation also. I haven't had a chance to play, but I would love to.
And so basically, you can access these amenities during work, essentially.
Yeah,
So it's almost somewhat like a rural office, where
yeah.
like there's a good employee satisfaction rate there, I'm guessing.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the work hours are not defined. It's basically depends on how much productivity you can achieve in how many hours. So let's say I can achieve the same amount of productivity in 6 hours. The rest hours are mine to explore the office.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's amazing.
yeah.
And what would you say is the most exciting part of your job? Like maybe talk a little bit about your job specification, what your day-to-day looks like for you in particular, what
Okay.
makes it exciting.
So day to day, basically, we have a stand-up meeting in which we tell updates about what we did yesterday and what we plan to do the
Yeah.
next day. Then we have different design meetings. So the main advantage is that we are involved in everyone's project within the team. So let's say there's someone who is working on a next project. He or she will have a design review and we will give feedback. Based on then the person will start implementation. Then there are I think 4 5 hours dedicated to our personal work where we implement our own project. There's some time dedicated to code reviews in which we review others code, give them feedback, make our code quality better. So that's how we work on a day-to-day level.
Hmm. And in terms of the challenges, what are those challenges in your job? What are the main hurdles you experience on a day-to-day basis?
So there are a lot of time priorities change. So
Mhm.
let's say I'm working on a project from a long-term vision. Now it can be possible that that timeline change and we have to deliver it quickly. So we have to discard the long-term vision sometimes and go on the short-term vision, make some hacky solutions, which later we have to reevaluate and get back on track. So sometimes that becomes tricky on how to deliver fastest to the customer in the best possible way.
So it seems like there's a lot of elements you're working
Yeah,
at the same time, and sometimes it can pull one way, pull the other way,
yeah.
pull one way, pull the other way. And in terms of, you said you're quite satisfied where you work. What do you see in the future in a professional level? What are you kind of hoping for in the next coming years?
My eventual goal is to become a software manager. So currently, I'm an individual contributor.
Okay.
Uh, Whatever I do it at my own pace,
Mhm.
and I am the sole decision maker. Eventually, I would want to manage people under me, and I would want to become a people's manager instead of an individual contributor. So that would entail focusing on people's growth, employees' growth under me. That would entail stakeholder management. That will entail project management for all the projects under
Oh
me.
wow.
Yeah. So basically, I think more of me as a delegator than a executioner, more of an ideationist than an
But
executor.
a lot of duties and responsibilities,
Yeah.
and you're more in a management kind of. Basically, you have the experience by that time, and you have the ability to kind of understand the nuts and bolts.
Yeah.
So you're kind of delegating a little bit and
Yeah.
making sure stuff flows.
Yes.
Okay.
So till now, I'm gaining experience in how things are done, so
Uh,
that when I delegate stuff, I know how things will be done, so I can approach them from a higher abstract level.
and how many Amazon offices are there in India? Is this the main one in Bangalore?
So the main one is in different location, World Trade Center in Bangalore. We have 6, 7 offices in our complex. Then there are, I think, 2, 3 more offices in other part of Bangalore. Then there is an office in Hyderabad. There is
Oh,
an office in Gurgaon,
oh my God.
and I think Pune and Mumbai also have their own offices.
But the main one is in Bangalore somewhere.
The main office in India is in Hyderabad. It's the
Hyderabad.
largest Amazon complex, I believe.
And I'm guessing there are many thousands of people working in
Yeah.
Amazon India. I think would it be the largest market outside of US
Market as in terms of employees or in terms of customer?
in terms of, I guess, the money that's produced or the revenue that's generated?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I would like to believe so.
You'd like
Yeah,
to believe so. And overall, you're quite happy working in the company, and do you feel like you've been learning a lot? Is there a lot of opportunity to learn?
yeah. There is, so in we can also team change our teams. So let's say initially I was in the pricing team, where we used to price the products which we see on Amazon.com. There are billions of products, so every day our algorithms used to price them. Now I'm in the warehousing team, where we look how the supply chain, how the sellers are charged in the warehouse.
Hmm.
So I changed teams when I thought that, okay, I've learned this domain, now I need to learn a different domain.
Mhm.
So I learned a new business problem.
So it seems like there's a lot you can do at Amazon. Seems like an exciting place to work at Amazon India, and a lot of growth on a personal level with your job, and also where we see Amazon's expansion. Um, on another topic, you said you're quite interested in the stock market.
Yeah.
I think this would be an interesting thing to touch on because stock market, I think people are getting into it at a younger age, especially since they're more in tune with their devices. What got you into the stock market, and I mean, yeah, I guess what got you into it?
So my father has always been
Yeah.
from a business background, and I've always been fascinated by numbers.
Mhm.
So that was my initial inclination.
Yeah.
In my college, we had a course, Principle of Economics. There we learnt about monopolies, how the demand supply
Mhm.
chain curve works. So that got me curious into the world of finance. Then I did a minor in finance. So my majors is in computer science, and I did a minors in finance alongside. There we learnt about the derivative industries and all. And finally, then I learned about the stock market on a personal level by reading books, seeing YouTube videos, and that's how I got started in the practical world.
Okay. And in terms of your knowledge of the stock market, I'm guessing it's ever evolving,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's definitely, so you can
Yeah.
never learn it whole. So every book I learn, it gives me a good perspective of a different concept which I was unaware of. So I'm always learning.
Okay. And with the stock market, are you in the US stock exchange or in India or both or?
So in the last 2 years, I was working in the Indian stock market, but last 2, 3 months, I also thought that why should I not use my night time for trading? So I have also opened an account in the US stock market as well. So that's a new area I'm exploring. So
NASDAQ and
yeah,
so how would you compare? Now this is a bit of a complicated one.
yeah.
How would you compare the stock exchange landscape with, I guess, the Indian stock exchange and something like NASDAQ, the US stock exchange?
Hmm.
I guess in the American ones you have the blue chip companies, right? In India you have, I guess, things like bigger companies here as well, like Infosys, Tata, all these ones. Um, how would you compare the landscape, the trading landscape?
Yeah. So US stock market is more mature.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
are a lot of number of stocks. Plus, there are a lot of investors as well. So the demand supply principles works very accurately there. In India, the size of the market cap of companies is comparatively less. So let's say I personally trade in a small cap and mid cap companies.
Okay.
So in India, let the price movement in small cap mid cap companies is very erratic.
Mhm.
So it can go 10-12% in a day very quickly.
Mhm.
Versus in US, it will be a more stable move.
Okay.
So US is more mature. Basically, it respects the stock market principles more accurately, I would say.
Hmm. So you'd say India, it's a little bit more unpredictable, little bit volatile.
Yes,
And do you think India is more susceptible to insider trading and things like that?
exactly.
So
Because the float is less, the amount of stock the people can control, that is less.
is it less regulated at the same time?
Regulatory wise, it's actually more. Now,
Really?
yeah, so SEBI basically has a lot of checks and balances, so that also restricts my trading style. So, like sometimes there are stocks which can only move 5% in a day. So I'm
Okay.
not able to utilize all their
It's a bit
potential.
limited. Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
I want to ask you, what are the main stocks to look out for in the Indian stock exchange and the American stock exchange? Obviously, these are subject to, time changing and all we've
right,
seen.
right.
But what are the main ones that you think people should look out for?
So every bull market has some stock leaders. So recently, India had a 1 2 years bull market in which railway stocks did a very good move. Shipping stocks, PSU stocks did a very public sector enterprises.
Logistics, supply chain oriented ones.
Yeah,
Okay.
but now we are going in a correction zone. So last 2 months have been very bad for the Indian landscape, and for US stock market also. Last 1 month has been on a decline. So currently, what my trading principle is that I stay away from stocks when it's a declining market. So right now, I'm
Hmm.
not investing much.
So you're waiting for it to I guess, quite low until you kind
Yeah,
of.
I'm waiting for this correction to end and up move to start, and then I would start looking for new stocks.
Okay. And in terms of the American stock exchange, what are some stocks to look out for or things that seem promising?
So Nvidia was one that led the move. It has actually, I think, done a 6x move in the last 1.5 year. Right now, I think it's saturating, but Tesla is one which is beginning a new move.
Really?
Yeah. So it doubled since November.
What's the
After,
reason behind this?
I think Trump coming to the office.
Okay. So I
So
guess do people have more faith in the economy after Trump came in, or
yes, that is also one thing. Also, Elon Musk is a great Trump supporter.
he's a firm advocate? Yeah,
So
for that.
that's why people have a good future growth expectation from Tesla and both Elon Musk. Even
Hmm.
cryptos. So cryptos are on a huge rise. Bitcoin touched the 100K mark.
Really?
So yeah, Bitcoin just gave a good breakout, I think in October or November, and it has risen 50 60% since then in just 3 months.
What's your view on crypto?
I think after Trump came in, the policies are gonna ease, so it has a bright future for the next 2 3 years. That's my personal opinion, obviously.
Because there are now a lot of cryptocurrencies that have
Yeah,
come out. I think recently a famous meme one was Dogecoin, right?
yeah,
And I think was it Elon Musk that kind of,
yes,
what was the story behind that? That was crazy. I think he got everyone to just buy a lot of Dogecoin,
yeah,
and then I think it resulted in the crypto market being quite volatile for a while, right?
yeah. Crypto is volatile till date also
Yeah, yeah.
because again there are not a lot of policies being regulated. But in the next, I think 4 5 years of Trump's administration, although I'm not into a lot of politics and policies, but it seems like we will get some good regulations in crypto and a good up move in terms of price as well.
Okay. So I live in Australia, and over there I also have dabbled in the stock market, the Australian stock market. I think the returns are not as exciting as what you'd see in like Nasdaq and whatnot, but I've been learning a little, and I got some mainly mining, and over
Okay,
there mining is the main sector. So a lot of these stocks are in the mining
okay.
sector. So I got that, and that showed some pretty promising returns. I think so far I'm up like 80%
Oh my
from
God.
what I got it, and I've been holding on to these stocks for maybe 15 months. So
Oh
I'm
man,
still holding on
that's
to it.
a superb return.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I should take some tips from you.
Maybe, I don't know. It's beginner's luck, but for now, I'm just kind of holding off. And what's the tax system like for stocks when you actually, I guess, in terms of capital gains, India versus Australia, with versus US?
So in India is ever evolving.
Yeah.
So I think the 5 years back it was different. Right now I think it's 15% on short-term capital
Mhm.
gain and 10% on long-term capital gain. Although I don't remember it exactly. I will
Okay.
file my ITR in June, then I will revise.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And in the US, I guess that's not really
I
affected.
think US is mostly income bracket levels. There are no different tax according to short-term or long-term capital gains. It's just what your income level is at, and you will be taxed accordingly.
Okay. And do you have any tips for someone who wants to get into the stock market first time? Any tips that you wish you had when you first got in?
I think you should have a set of rules which you should follow always. You should
Hmm.
not basically make an exception of those rules, that okay, this time I will let it go, because the losses mount due to that only.
Mm.
Risk management should be one of the first things that you learn. That is
Mhm.
very important in the stock market, because in just a 2 3 days you can lose a lot of your capital, and that puts a lot of toll on your psychology.
But how someone who's getting in for the first time, how can they teach themselves risk management?
Uh, I think first thing can be ready for how much amount you're able to risk. So let's say I am able to risk about $10,000 in the stock market. Then I will take a position in the stock accordingly. So let's say I am able to risk 10,000. So and that is 10% of my capital. So I will put 1 lakh. So I am thinking risk first and then allocating my capital, not the other way around.
Mm. So it's quite strategic.
Yeah,
Before even taking action, you're kind of strategizing,
exactly.
and you're already setting an amount of what you're willing to risk, and you're not going further than that.
Exactly.
And when is gut feeling something that you rely on?
You should not rely on your gut feeling.
Okay, okay,
In stock market, I think the first thing you should realize is that you can be wrong.
okay.
And when you are wrong, realize that mistake and cut your losses short.
Wow.
If you stick to the principle that you cannot be wrong, that is the point where your losses will just double, triple, compound.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting learnings for I think other people and also for me. So we've talked about life at Amazon India, working there, and also the stock market, especially the U.S. and the Indian stock market. I think this chat's coming to a close, but normally there's a closing tradition on these chats, and that's one simple question that we I close with, which is for anyone that's watching this, do you have a piece of advice that you think might be useful? Any advice? Yeah.
One thing I've started realizing is that the energy that we have eventually diminishes as we age. So it's a curve. Like as I grow, my energy enthusiasm will go
Wean a
reduce.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So make a lot of your time. Go out and have all the experiences you want to have today. Don't have laziness, lethargy, because eventually you're gonna succumb to them.
Okay.
Yeah,
So make use of the energy and the vitality while you have it.
exactly.
Beautiful. Good point to end on. Thank you so much
Thank
for your
you.
time, Dave. Really enjoyed it.
Me